Title: Gus the Brave Grasshopper. Once upon a time, in a cozy cabin along a lush meadow, there lived a young grasshopper named Gus and two friends. He was known throughout the meadow for his cheerful chirping and his boundless curiosity. But tonight, something was different on this cool autumn night. As the moon cast its soft, silvery light across the meadow, outside Gus's window, Gus lay in his cozy warm grasshopper bed. He had just settled in for the night when he heard it, a mysterious bump, followed by a thud. His large, round eyes widened with fear, and his antennae quivered. What was that? Bump! Thud! The sounds echoed through the quiet night. Gus threw his blankets over his head in fear and huddled under his blanket, his heart beating like a drum. His house had never sounded so spooky, and his imagination ran wild. What could be making those eerie noises? Were they the footsteps of a fearsome creature or monster? With trembling legs, Gus decided he couldn't just lie there in fear. He had to find out what was causing the bumps and thuds. Summoning all the courage he could muster, he hopped out of bed and tiptoed toward the source of the sounds. The moonlight guided his way as he followed the sounds to his reading area. His breaths came out in small puffs of anxiety as he inched closer. Oh! What could it be? Gus peeked around the corner and gasped in surprise. There, in the moonlight, he saw his friend JP the rabbit looking for a book to read bedtime stories. JP yelled when Gus appeared out of the darkness. JP was surprised to see him, but he surely wasn't a monster. The bumps and thuds were simply the sounds of JP the rabbit looking for a book. Gus realized that what he had feared were not the footsteps of a monster but simply his friend JP the rabbit. Just then Gus and JP heard another noise. Oh no! Maybe it wasn't JP Gus was hearing, maybe it was a monster after all. They both stopped and could hear sounds that sounded like something very scary. Gus and JP pulled together their bravery and went to investigate. This time it sounded like it was coming from the kitchen. With a newfound sense of bravery, with JP by his side, they both crept quietly through the house toward the kitchen. When they arrived to the doorway, they could hear clanking like chains. JP said quietly, trembling hello? Gus quickly followed with, come out whoever you are. Just then two large eyes started glowing in the dark behind the table. JP and Gus screamed. At that very moment they could hear, you two scared me. It was a familiar voice coming from the darkness. Gus turned on the lights to find his friend Kage the Cat hiding in the dark. Gus asked, what are you doing, Kage? Kage explained, I heard noises and I was scared. I was up trying to get some ice cream. The three friends then sat down together, they laughed at the outcome of events and ate ice cream together as JP read bedtime stories from his book out loud. All of them feeling the exhilaration of the night and the warmth of their friendship. They learned that sometimes, what seemed scary at first was merely your own mind thinking the worst. As the night wore on, the three friends returned to their cozy beds, no longer afraid of the bumps and thuds. They had learned that courage was in the absence of fear but the willingness to face it. The night, once filled with eerie sounds, now felt like a place of wonder and friendship. From that night on, Gus, JP, and Kage embraced the mysteries of the nighttime sounds. They realized that in every rustle and bump, there was a story waiting to be told, and they were braver than they had ever imagined. As they each closed their eyes and listened to the night's gentle lullaby, they knew that the night's mysteries also held endless adventures, and to not always be scared. Face the darkness with caution, but also a heart full of courage and a spirit eager for new discoveries and true friendships. The end. Please like and subscribe to our channel to stay motivated and follow Gus and his other adventures.